This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 2183. 5 Lessons from Our Buy Nothing New Challenge by Jamie of KeepThrifty.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Now let's get right to it as we optimize your life. 5 Lessons from Our Buy Nothing New Challenge by Jamie of KeepThrifty.com. Back in 2017, we took on the challenge to buy nothing new for a full calendar year. We wanted to break away from the consumerism that surrounds us on a daily basis. Our hope was that if we could get through an entire year of buying nothing new, that it would help us become more intentional with our money. We came up with 5 strategies to help us avoid buying new items. Number 1, wear out. Don't replace items until they no longer perform their function. Number 2, fix. Where possible, fix broken or torn items instead of replacing. Number 3, repurpose. Do we already have something that can fulfill that item's usage? Number 4, self-provision. Can we make it ourselves from other materials? And number 5, buy used. Can we find what we need used instead of new? While those strategies were useful, we knew that there were going to be exceptions. Chris and I thought hard and came up with 4 exceptions that we felt were in line with our values. Underwear, socks, and shoes. Photo prints, like school pictures and for our road trip map. Car maintenance parts. We know we need new tires next year. And home remodeling. We needed to wrap up current projects. Our experience. Chris and I were really optimistic when we started January 1st, 2017. We even stayed within the rules. We did buy new carbon monoxide detectors, which weren't on the exception list, but it was a safety issue for our family and deemed a necessary new purchase. The following 2 months, we stayed focused and never broke our challenge rules. We went into month 4 thinking this challenge was going to be easy for our minimalist family. Then my computer's power cord finally gave out. We debated buying used, but we had already done that and it had not lasted long. So we broke the challenge for a good cause, buying a brand spanking new Mac laptop power cord. It was a justified purchase. But that's the problem, right? Once you make one excuse, a few more follow. I bought one of our kids a costume as a birthday present. I told myself it was an experience, but let's be honest, it was an item. And either way, it was new. The following month, I bought some stainless steel straws. I still love them to this day, but it honestly was an impulse purchase. A week later, I found myself having a pity party. My clothes all felt worn and frumpy. I felt worn and frumpy. I had errands to run and decided I would just have a look in one of my favorite shops. I walked out with an $80 summer dress from Title IX. I felt a little guilty, but I came up with an excuse to justify my expensive buy. When I showed Chris the dress, I said, "Our Buy Nothing New challenge is supposed to help us be more intentional with our spending. I want you to know that I very intentionally bought this dress." I was really proud of myself for that statement. It was also the downfall of our experiment. The second half of the year was full of new purchases. We had multiple issues with buying secondhand clothes for the girls. One was that we would later find holes in unfortunate places, so we gave up on buying used pants. I struggled with sciatica and purchased a stability ball and foam roller to help. They were more or less impulse purchases that I used to delay going to a doctor. I now visit a chiropractor and don't use those items. Buying stuff in the second half of the year felt like binging on food after a miserable diet. In the following months, we bought a lot of new items. We continued to try avoiding buying new, but our resolve wasn't as strong. Buying used takes more time and patience, sifting through thrift stores. We were tired and buying new felt easier at times. Trying to buy nothing new for a full year was tough. We finished the year with 90 new purchased items. This is far above our goal of 0, but the challenge did have an impact on how much new stuff we bought. In 2016, we had purchased 153 new items. We cut that by 40% in 2017. We also learned a few lessons along the way. 5 lessons from our Buy Nothing New challenge. Number 1, there will be unexpected necessary purchases like carbon monoxide detectors. Number 2, you will have a pity party at some point. my $80 dress that I still love, by the way. Number 3, be diligent when you purchase used. Holes in pants we didn't notice before. Number 4, don't use purchases as solutions, like the stability ball. And number 5, when taking on a new challenge, start small. A full year is a long time. A 3-month challenge would have been a better first step. You just listened to the post titled 5 Lessons from Our Buy Nothing New Challenge by Jamie of KeepThrifty.com. Spending challenges like the one described in this article can be very enlightening. Oftentimes, it makes us realize that many of the things we spend money on aren't true must-haves. They're just things we'd really, really prefer to have or are used to having. I think it's well worth the time to pause and question if you need the thing you're considering buying, and really sit with that question. We're so used to moving so quickly, and many times we could benefit from slowing down and questioning our assumptions. So for example, when I moved to Cincinnati from New York City, I was told many times that I would need to buy a car. But I wanted to question this assumption. I chose a walkable neighborhood to live in and spent my first year here carless. It really wasn't as bad as others had led me to believe. And when I did eventually buy a car for convenience, did I really need to buy a new car? No. I bought a 2010 Mazda 3 for $6,000 cash, and I spent a couple months shopping around for a good deal. I have a thought process that I like to follow before spending that goes something like this. First, I question if this is really a need or is it more of a want. Wants can be planned and saved for, but needs should be addressed more urgently. Then I ask myself if I already own something that can be repurposed for this need, or if I can borrow something from a friend. If I determine that I actually have to buy it, I'll then see if I can get it used. And if I have to buy it new, I shop around for a good deal. And that should do it for today. Have a happy rest of your day, and I'll see you on the Friday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.